How big is the global market? It's like $400 trillion. Well, what if Bitcoin gets 1% of that market? Well, then it's $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. And I think a couple of things we're going to see happening. Number one, people will no longer accept fiat money for Bitcoin. So you're going to try to buy Bitcoin with your fiat money and no one will take your fiat money. No one will take dollars at all. So that will be a moment of panic. You have no choice because the fiat money world and everything that's not Bitcoin is going to zero against Bitcoin. So if you're not in Bitcoin, whatever it is you're in is going to zero against Bitcoin. If you buy Bitcoin today, in 5 years' time, your purchasing power against everything else, fiat money, gold, property, will be considerably better. So just look 5 years down the road.
In a recent interview, renowned Bitcoin maximalist Max Keiser shared his bold predictions for the future of Bitcoin, giving us some very interesting scenarios made possible by the rise of the world's first cryptocurrency. With the global market valued at $400 trillion, Keiser asserts that even just 1% of that amount will allow Bitcoin to surge massively, with its price potentially soaring to the astronomical heights of $1 million, $2 million, or even $3 million. According to Keiser, this is now more than possible with the Bitcoin ETFs driving in more and more investors towards Bitcoin. He believes that Bitcoin will continue to rise and every other asset will go to zero, which is why to him, investing in Bitcoin is no longer just a smart investment move, but a necessity for a financially secure future. Let us now view clips of Max Keiser as he shares his insightful Bitcoin perspectives. Stick around till the end of this video where Keiser explains why Bitcoin is a risk-off investment. We hope you enjoy.
How many times have you eaten junk this week? You're just wasting your money. Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. Skip your next junk meal and instead invest in your education. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
Every facet of society will be touched by Bitcoin in one way or another. Wall Street, when Bitcoin arrives, it's still Wall Street. So they have a Wall Street reaction, like let's create an ETF. I have my background on Wall Street, so I'm a stockbroker, and my attraction to Bitcoin was always the basic question I asked myself from day one is this a new asset class, right? Because it's not a stock or a bond or a cash. It's kind of like a commodity, but it's not anything like we've seen before. So then if it is a new asset class, then I know from my Wall Street background that every fiduciary in the world would have to ask themselves, should I have exposure to this asset class? So as a fiduciary myself for many years, I'm familiar with that industry and that market. And so how big is the global market? It's like $400 trillion. Well, what if Bitcoin gets 1% of that market? Well, then it's $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. I've always said that Bitcoin has no top because fiat money has no bottom, right? There's no backing for fiat money. It's just paper. And I think a couple of things we're going to see happening. Number one, people will no longer accept fiat money for Bitcoin. So you're going to try to buy Bitcoin with your fiat money and no one will take your fiat money. No one will take dollars at all. So that will be a moment of panic. They'll be like, oh, what? It's like, no. Here's $1 million. Here's $10 million. I want one Bitcoin. Like, no way, amigo. We don't want that shit. It's worthless, right? So that's going to be panic. Then people are going to have to trade in other stuff for Bitcoin, like gold, their house, right? And then people are going to be panicked. And they should be panicked because the world we live in now is a fake world that's been created with the hologram of fiat money. And in that hologram of fiat money, many weird things are going on. Traditional values that held society together for thousands of years are being tossed out the window because they can print more money to pass new laws to make it easier for them to print more money. So it just becomes a collectivist, socialist, communist, fascist, totalitarian nightmare. All those things are all basically the same. Yeah. And it's centralization, it's hyper-centralization. And it's happening now. And unlike at any period in history before, though, there's going to be a cohort of folks who own Bitcoin And those people are going to move to El Salvador, where Bitcoin is legal tender. So there'll be a mad rush, like those images of people panic leaving Saigon at the end of the Vietnam War and trying to scramble on the last helicopter. That's going to be at JFK. People trying to scramble onto the last flight to San Salvador to escape the hell of the fiat money apocalypse. And that scene will be repeated all over the world.
Max Keiser also echoes the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission's stance on cryptocurrencies, supporting the view that all altcoins, including Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple, are unregistered securities. Keiser believes that Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency that can be trusted and considered as truly decentralized. Meanwhile, Coinbase Chief Legal Officer, Paul Grewal, has weighed in on the status of Ethereum, stating firmly that it should be considered a commodity, not a security. This declaration follows a lawsuit filed by decentralized finance firm, Consensus, against the .SEC, challenging its authority and its classification of Ethereum. Grewal applauded Consensus for standing up against what they see as the SEC's overreach. Consensus argues that the SEC's actions hinder Ethereum's growth and innovation by mislabeling it as a security. They believe this misclassification stifles progress in the Ethereum ecosystem and unfairly portrays blockchain technology. What do you think about this news? Let us know in the comments. Now let's return to Max Keiser with more of his insights.
Risk of buying Bitcoin today is less than it's ever been. So it's less risky to buy Bitcoin at 65, 70,000 than it was to buy it at $5. You're taking less risk. And so you have the benefit of not being exposed to all that risk for all these years. Because the market is more established, it's deeper, there's more players, and the use case and everything is more developed. So the risk-reward ratio has never been better. So you're making a risk-off investment. It's not a risk-on investment. It's a risk-off investment. You have no choice because the fiat money world and everything that's not Bitcoin is going to zero against Bitcoin. So if you're not in Bitcoin, whatever it is you're in is going to zero against Bitcoin. So if you buy Bitcoin today, in 5 years' time, your purchasing power against everything else, fiat money, gold, property, will be considerably better. So just look 5 years down the road. And do you want your purchasing power to be mathematically guaranteed to be higher? Or do you want your purchasing power to mathematically be lower, as it would be the case with fiat money and anything else that's not Bitcoin? So those are two pretty simple questions. And then you should start to build your Bitcoin portfolio and scale into it, or dollar cost average into it, or start to build your portfolio. And in 5 years, if you start to buy Bitcoin now, in 5 years' time, I would predict, you'll be at a fuck you money moment where you're not going to be chasing money. This fiat money chase is an endless hamster wheel of an emotional roller coaster that is, everything is forcing you to think like you need to keep going chasing this tail of the fiat money world. But once you get into Bitcoin, pretty quickly you start to realize it's unconfiscatable, it's inflation proof, it's mine, no one else can take it from me, and the purchasing power is going to go up forever. And I can listen, and Michael Saylor works for me, Larry Fink works for me, right? Those are my employees. When you turn on CNBC and Larry Fink's there talking about how great Bitcoin is, and 2 years ago he thought it was shit. Now he's like, oh, I believe in it. You're like, thank you, Larry. I'm up another 10%. Thanks to you, Larry. You're doing a good job, Larry. Everybody has the ability to fall into behavior that is they're going to regret. And gambling is behavior that you can avoid if you just have a little patience. And by little patience, we're saying, 4 or 5 years. No one has ever held Bitcoin for 5 or 4.5 years and ever lost a penny. Yeah. Right? So if you can hold on to your shit for 4.5 years, you will be over the hump, over the cycle, into the next cycle. But you have, if it does crap out and you've got an 80% correction, that's a great time to accumulate. You can't be scared out. That would be a gift. Most people who have Bitcoin love the 80% down moves because they're now increasing their stack. It's hard to make money, but it's harder to hold on to your money. Most people who make money lose it. maybe not the first or second generation, but definitely by the third generation, most big money that's made in America and around the world is lost. The grandchild of the founder fucks it all up.
Do you agree with all of Max Keiser's perspectives? Feel free to share your own perspectives in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to stay updated on the latest crypto news, consider giving us a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more similar content. Our goal is to make informational content that can guide our viewers in their journeys to financial success. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you again. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.